We looked at data from over 50,000 webinar attendees and noticed most people leave in the first 5 minutes. So we've developed 4 simple slides that will stop people from leaving your webinar early. In this video, I'll give you the slides and share our strategies to keep people hooked all the way through your webinar. So when we looked at our webinar data, we noticed something interesting. Retention drops dramatically in the first 5 minutes. But after that point, retention stays steady. If you can just keep people engaged for those first 5 minutes, they're likely to stay for your entire webinar. We built a simple framework called the S.T.A.Y framework that you can use to maximize those first 5 minutes. So the S stands for spark interaction, the T is for a tease, A is for an agenda, Y is your credibility. The first step to creating a strong introduction is the S, spark interaction. Interacting with your audience and showing them this is a live event will keep them on your webinar longer. From our data, those that engage in the first 5 minutes stay on the webinar 90% longer than those that do not. So the objective for you is to get attendees to fill out a poll or to use the chat box in the first few minutes. Here's an easy way to show attendees it's live and get them engaged at the same time. Use this side template and just ask them where they're from. And then read out the responses using this simple script. Hey, name, from, place, right? So it's like, hi, John from Toronto. Hi, Chris from New York. When you do this at the start of your webinar, you're showing them it's live and you're getting engagement. The second step in your framework is to tease. You want to clearly share that there's a tool or a framework as well as a Q&A at the end of the webinar. People love Q&A sessions more than you think. There's actually a research from Ring Central that shows 92% of webinar attendees want a Q&A, right? And then people also love getting a free tool and a free resource. So here's how you can take advantage of this. Use this slide. At the end of the presentation, that's the title, you get free access to the name of the resource. You can actually put the value of what that resource is, as well as a Q&A session. This will help hook people to the end of your webinar. Now, the next step in the framework is to share a compelling agenda. The goal of the agenda is to answer a burning question every single one of your attendees has in their head. What is in it for me? If you don't answer that fast, you're going to start to see people rushing off your webinar. So to help you avoid that, the first action step you need to take is write down the top 3 transformations that your service gives to people. And then what we want to use is this agenda slide to show the transformations. So here's what the slide will look like. You'll have transformation 1, transformation 2, and then transformation 3. Now, quick note, make sure that your webinar actually speaks to those transformations, or then you're just kind of clickbaiting people. I want to share with you 2 best practices to help you with this slide because these are so important. The first is to use loss aversion. This is something that I've actually been using more and more in my business, and I could see a huge impact on the click-through rate. Loss aversion is a cognitive bias where the psychological impact of a loss is stronger than the positive impact of a comparable gain. In a great book called The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy, he states that people are more motivated to avoid pain than to seek pleasure. So here's an example. Which of these 2 do you think is more effective? Get better sleep or stop losing sleep? Stop losing sleep will actually get a higher click rate and resonate more with your audience. The second best practice is to use pictures. Pictures evoke more emotions than words. They just do. A picture is worth 1,000 words. If you've ever heard that, there's a reason behind it. As an example, look at this slide and then look at the second one with the picture. The one with the picture and that person frustrated that they're not getting enough sleep is going to evoke more emotion. Let's move on and get back to the framework. The next step is your credibility. Trust is at an all-time low, and the goal of this section is to gain the trust of your audience. You do that by answering 3 questions your audience is asking themselves. Why should I trust you? Have you helped others like me? And will this work for me? Each of these questions needs to be addressed in 1 or 2 slides to increase the trust that your audience has with you. So what we've done is we've created a credibility slide that you can copy to answer these 3 questions. And this is what it looks like. So the first thing is a credibility picture. You want something that really shows that you're an expert. It could be speaking on stage. It could be you signing a book, whatever it might be. The next is your story. This is where you want to quickly share about why you're doing what you're doing, what challenge you experienced. The more the challenge can actually relate to what your audience challenge is, the better it's going to resonate. Next is customer success stories. This could be reviews, but just showcasing that you've helped other people. And then finally, past accomplishments. If you want to see this in action, we recently did a webinar for a speaking coach where the average attendee stayed for 54 minutes. Because we use this S.T.A.Y framework, you can watch it here.